Welcome, everyone. We're here to talk about the June 2025 investor presentation. I'm Stefan Sklepowicz, the CEO of Kirkland Lake Discoveries.
I'll be making forward-looking statements throughout this presentation. I encourage you to take your time, do your own due diligence before investing in our story.
Just as an overview of where we're starting right now, our market cap is sitting at about $4.5 million, trading at 4 cents. We have about $1.5 million in the bank, and our exploration program is set up for about $850,000 of spend over the next 3 months. Where we're located is in the Abitibi Greenstone Belt. And the Abitibi Greenstone Belt is one of the most prolific group of rocks in the world. There's over 300 million ounces of gold that have been discovered. But more importantly, we're in the Blake River group of rocks within the Abitibi. Now, the Blake River group of rocks might not be, a common name you've heard. Some of the mines that you might have heard of in the Blake River group of rocks are La Ronde, Cumont, Horn, Rouyn-Noranda. These are massive deposits, typically VMS in nature, with a high-grade gold kicker. So in the Blake River group of rocks, 70 to 80% of the VMS deposits have been found within those rocks in the Abitibi. These deposits are often closely associated with regional structures as well as plutons that are within the area. And so we have multiple plutons throughout our property, as well as large regional structures that provide those fluids and traps for that mineralization. We hold a large chunk of those rocks on the Ontario side of the border. We have 40,000 hectares. We're 53 kilometers long. Our closest neighbors are Agnico Eagle. We have Stellar Gold to the north, Mag Silver, soon to be Pan American Silver to the southeast. And we have one operating mine to the south at Macassa, which is owned by Agnico Eagle. And they also have the Upper Beaver, which they're moving in production, which is less than 2 kilometers from our border. With this large land package, 40,000 hectares and gold and copper showings across the entire thing, high-grade gold, shafts, historic mines, there's where do you start? And so what we really focused on was taking that large scale and bringing it down to something more manageable. We did a large-scale geochemical survey on the west side of the property, which gave us a map or an overview of where mineralization was occurring. And so what we did is we plotted that, and what we saw was that around this pluton on the west side, the Winnie Lake pluton, is we had pockets of mineralization. So we had things that were VMS in nature, intrusion related. So we had high copper, zinc, silver, gold, bismuth, moly. With that, what it allowed us to do was go, okay, so if this pocket's here, what else aligns with it? When we brought in the geophysics, we saw that there were large magnetic high anomalies that were associated with these same geochemical anomalies. That led us to explore around the pluton a little bit further, and to the southeast, there was the Winnie Lake drill hole from 1989, where they encountered 2.7% copper, 2.8% zinc, and some silver, a gram per ton gold, over 22.5 meters, an absolutely stunning drill hole. In the last 3 months, we were able to bring that property into the mix and explore it with modern eyes and a modern approach to things. And so rather than looking at it as a VMS system, what we think happened is that intrusion came in and remobilized that. Since we've been to site, we've seen that there is a large magnetite band that's butted up against those massive sulfides, which also helps us to look at it from a standpoint of those magnetic highs do matter. We've started our field season, and over the last month, we've done a lot of work. The guys have been busy doing prospecting and mapping, channel sampling, as well as a high-resolution drone magnetic survey. That magnetic survey really highlights that band of magnetite that's attached to those sulfides, which gives us better targets to drill in the coming months. We have over 75 meters of channel sampling that's been completed. That's a horizontal drill hole. So basically what we're doing is we're getting a really good indication as to the extent and consistency of mineralization across those two different areas. One of the biggest findings that the guys had already was a long strike to the west at the intrusion. There was a syenite body that we've discovered is mineralized.
300 meters along the syenite pluton contact. And here is another great big chunk, massive magnetite. You got some sulfides in here, just like Winnie.
It had extremely high bismuth, extremely high tellurium. which can indicate that it's part of a larger system that brought that gold and other mineralization in. Coming up in 2025, what we have planned is a 3,000 meter drill program at KL West to test this mineralization, both at the Winnie Lake showing and surrounding area, all the way along those edges of the plutons. The whole point of that is to test that mineralization with that lens of this intrusion brought it in. Really exciting times for the story and what's going forward here. One of the things that's really important to me is maintaining that transparency as much as humanly possible. And so we continue to do our KLDC Treasure Hunters, where you can follow along on the journey, watch those geologists in the field, see the core come out of the drill rig, and you can see me doing meetings, gaining more investors and keeping people interested in the story. And so I'm really excited to put this theory to the test and to really make a discovery. So I want you to come along for the ride and see what we're up to. Thanks a lot.